Good evening, Pickerington VLA families at the junior high. This is a take two. I realized that I was supposed to start at 6 o'clock, but due to some technical difficulties, I'm going to go ahead and record the broadcast and then share this out with you through the newsletter. So I apologize in advance for the technical difficulties and the delay in getting this out to you. However, we do know in a virtual world that sometimes the technology doesn't always cooperate. And the best that we can do is sometimes take a breath and go ahead and start over. So I'd like to walk you through some different things here. After talking with several of our VLA teachers and VLA staff and VLA students and VLA families, we found some tips and tricks that will help your students be successful. By the way, I should start with, my name's Kevin Smith. I am one of the assistant principals here at the junior high level. I'm actually shared between Ridgeview and Lakeview, which is why I get to work with our VLA staff and VLA students as they're combined from both buildings. It's been a really great pleasure to get to know and work with the VLA staff very closely, as well as to be able to work with our VLA families and talk to them about some of the challenges, but also some of the successes that they're having. All right, so we're going to talk about a number of different things tonight. One of the first is attendance. We're also going to talk about communication and different strategies for communication. We're going to run through the teacher websites and agendas, take a look at Google Classroom, some grading issues, how to organize yourself with Google Calendars and planners, and just how to organize your time in general in order to be successful. So one of the things we want to stress is that success is a journey. It doesn't happen overnight. Recording this broadcast to share out when it didn't work the first time is just one example of that. So what we've learned really from the beginning here is we know that learning virtually is different. We know that it's a challenge and it's difficult. We also know that our students are amazing and our staff is amazing too, and that working together we can really do this. We believe in you. We know that you can do it. We will be here to help you along the way. And that's one of the things we want to stress, is that we will continue to work and partner with you through this journey. Attendance. Attendance does matter. And even though your student is online, we still have to meet the attendance requirements created by the Ohio General Assembly and the Ohio Department of Education. So if your student is not logging into Infinite Campus to take their attendance each day, that can result in receiving attendance letters, attendance warnings, and potentially even truancy, even though your student is virtual. So I'm going to show you some really quick instructions here from the district on how to do this in Infinite Campus. And by the way, this presentation is going to be linked on the school websites so that you'll have access to look at this in more detail. But your student is going to have to go into Infinite Campus, and right here, when they log in, they're going to go to today, and they will see their name and their classes listed here right underneath their profile. And then it will ask them to check in, and they'll have to click, yes, I'm here. Now they'll have to do this for each and every class they have. If they're not doing it, they're going to be marked absent. Now on the flip side, some students have logged into Infinite Campus and marked that they are present and then not completed any work. If that is the case, teachers in the school can and will override the attendance code in Infinite Campus to say that students are not participating. So just checking off your attendance does not complete your school requirements for the day. Likewise, if you're completing your school requirements with your assignments, you still have to go in and mark your attendance, okay? So hopefully that clears that up, and we can move on to some other things. We've also found that as a school, teachers and schools and principals, we communicate a lot. And we don't always notice it when we're spreading it out through the school day. But our communication, which we've tried to limit to just the really important things, can really build up in your inbox. So whether that's through Infinite Campus Messenger, or whether that's the student email account, students need to be checking their accounts regularly. The school also sends out parent newsletters every Friday, so there's lots of good information in there as well. So we have a new tool this year called Talking Points. So parents, if your cell phone information is up to date in Infinite Campus, we can send text messages through Talking Points that will help us communicate. The biggest thing that I would want to stress here is that if you are having any difficulties or challenges in the VLA, I want to make sure that you are reaching out to your teachers or to your home school in order to communicate that you're having an issue so that we can work in helping you find a solution. I want to show you your teachers' websites, or how to access your teachers' websites, and how you can see the agendas that break the work down for each day. Now, the VLA 7 and the VLA 8 both have a little different system, where in the VLA 7, each teacher has their own page listed individually. We can click on them and see, if we click on Miss Myers, for example, this will take us to the VLA 7 math site, and you will see on her page the assignments for the week. And she already has next week's assignments posted. So this week, we can see here for week 8 that she had a number of different things posted each day. And the teachers are doing that in a way that chunks the material to a reasonable amount of work for each day, so that students don't get overwhelmed. Okay, so that would be an example of what you would find from the VLA 7 teachers. The VLA 8 teachers, they have a team site where everybody has all of their classes listed. And here there's an explanation as far as what time your class meets, what time those Google Meets are for your class, so that you know exactly when your student should be checking in. And then if you come up here to the top and click on the link for weekly plans, then you have access to that same weekly lesson plan that you saw under Mrs. Myers' VLA 7 math page. So we pulled up Mrs. Chafin's VLA parent page for Science 8, and it shows you the lesson for the week. If you maybe missed something, you can scroll down and see the lessons for previous weeks as well. So the nice thing is these pages will update automatically, and you don't have to find a new link every week. So once you go to these sites, and parents, I would strongly recommend you bookmark them. And students, I would strongly recommend you bookmark them as well in your web browser, so it's an easy thing to just go click on that link and see what you have to do and how it's organized for the week. All right. I do want to have one little side note here. Some of our elective teachers and a couple of our core teachers in VLA 8 have their own sites, because they teach both face-to-face as well as in VLA. And so there are specific times and things that they have set up for their VLA classes, because they're also teaching in our hybrid model with students face-to-face. So they do have different sites, but all of that information has been communicated through Infinite Campus. All right, I do want to talk a couple things. So each class does have classroom meets where the teacher explains the materials for the week and goes over things that students might need to know in order to accomplish the work. In addition to those required meets, there are weekly check-ins and office hours where students can ask for additional help. Some students may get requested by the teacher to attend an extra help session, but there are also help sessions available if you're just struggling, and all you have to do is communicate with your instructor and they will get you the Google Meet for that, and so you can go ahead and get logged in. Teachers are also using iReady for a personalized pathway through math and reading support for students. That is the same program that we use here in the building with our students face-to-face. It offers individualized support to help and meet each student where their needs are. On a rare occasion, there might be two different meets or two different classes scheduled at the same time. One might be a help session that you really wanted to attend, whereas the other teacher has a required meet that you need to go to. If that were to happen, and that should be very, very rare, the first thing you need to do is figure out, okay, which one of these is the required meet and make that the priority. The second thing is if you reach out to your teachers, many of them host the same class meet more than one time so that they can work with smaller groups of students. So if there's a conflict, maybe you have an appointment that you have to go to, like, and you would be missing school if you were in the building, you could always email the teacher and say, hey, I'm not going to be available at this time. Can I join another Google Meet? And our teachers really want to work with students. And so if you are communicating with them ahead of time and they have another meet scheduled, they will get you in there. If they don't have another meet scheduled, that might be one of those times where you use the office hours and meet with the teacher during office hours in order to get caught up on anything that you might have missed. I want to take some time and show you Google Classroom, show you some things in Google Classroom as far as how to track what assignments have been assigned versus what assignments have been completed versus what assignments have been turned in. Okay, so some of the feedback we've gotten from teachers is that several students, when they go into their Google Classroom, are just clicking on the links that take them directly to the assignment. Our teachers have spent a lot of time making directions and putting in directional videos sometimes to help students understand what they're going to be doing once they get into the assignment. And our students have openly admitted, I didn't really read the directions. I didn't really look at that video that explained what I was supposed to do. I just went in and started working because I thought I could do it. Well, the directions are there for a reason. So make sure you're taking the time to go through those directions and attempt, before you attempt the actual assignment itself. So I'm going to show you here this quick video. Some of our social work interns worked really hard here to put together a video that helps our parents understand how to navigate through Google Classroom.
There are 5 places you can go to check for your assignments. Number 1, when you're on your Google Classroom homepage, you can click on the to-do list. When you click on the to-do list, it shows you your assigned work, your missing work, and your completed work. You can click to see your assignments for all your classes, or you can look class by class. If you go back to the homepage, you can also click on the calendar. The calendar will also show you your assignments due each day. Again, you can click on all classes or look for a specific class. The second page you can go to check for your assignments is to click on a specific class and go to your stream. Your stream will have daily updates of whenever your teacher posts a new assignment. On your stream, you can also click on Upcoming, which will take you back to the to-do list we just saw. Again, it's your assigned work, your missing work, and your completed work. And you can see all classes or just one class. The third place you can go to check for your assignments is Classwork. Classwork will have each of your assignments posted either by unit or weekly agendas. Under Classwork, you can click View Your Work. View Your Work will also show you your assigned work, your missing work, and work that was returned to you. If you go back to Classwork, you can also click on Google Calendar. Google Calendar will also show you your assignments day by day. The fourth place you can go is to click on these 3 lines on the side, and you can click on the to-do list, and it'll take you back to this to-do list with assigned work, missing work, and completed work. You can click to see all your classes, or you can click class by class. The last place you could go is to your email, and in the search bar, you can type assignment, and it'll pull up any email that has to do with searching for an assignment.
All right. So I want to walk through some of those slides with you here and show you. We have the areas highlighted in yellow where you would be clicking so that you can switch between the different looks. All right, so when you log into a Google Classroom, the first place it takes you is to the stream, which this is where announcements are. The problem with the stream is that as teachers push out new announcements throughout the week, the material that was there at the beginning of the week gets pushed down. So while the stream is really great as far as keeping you up to date with new announcements, it does limit your ability to see all of the items that need to be done. You can, on this window here where it says Upcoming, you can click on View All, which will help you see a better list. But one of the things that I like to do is actually click here on Classwork. And if you click on this Classwork here at the top where it's circled in yellow, you can then go over here to the left where it says View Your Work. Or you can click underneath that on Google Calendar, and if there are due dates assigned with the materials, you will be able to see those on your calendar. But when you go to Classwork, you can see for each unit or each topic, it will list all of the individual assignments. And topics, most teachers are either arranging things by unit or by week. So you may see where it says topics over here on the left-hand side, it organized by week. So it might say week 8, week 7, week 6, week 5, and so on. You can see once you come up here to the top, underneath the classwork, you can see the 3 little lines that are circled in yellow. If you click on that, it will drop down and you can see the to-do list right there. And that will take you to the items that you still need to complete. You can also go into your student email account, put in assignment in the search bar and search for that. That will take you to any assignment notifications that are coming through your Google Classroom into your Google email. The only trick is if you have turned those notifications off, those emails won't be there. Okay, so that is only a way to find it if those notifications are still on. All right, once you are in the actual unit and you click on that first assignment, you can see that it gives you some directions. And then down here, you could go ahead and you could actually click on, boom, the assignment itself and open that link. Instructions for the assignments can be found here, and make sure that you read all of the instructions prior to clicking on the assignment and starting on the work. Quick reminder here, just because you click on the link and start your work doesn't mean that you have turned it in to your teacher so that they can grade it. So please refer to your teacher for instructions on how to turn in your assignment, because that may vary by class. And if it's in Google Classroom, you can click Turn It In versus an EduPuzzle or something else that they may want you to do. Make sure that you click that final submit button though when you finish, and email your teacher if you're not sure. As far as grades and grading goes, this is an important thing as teachers are working very hard. They have focused in on really just the essential knowledge, knowing that some of the things that they would normally do in the classroom, they just can't do virtually. And so they want to make sure that students are getting a solid foundation and getting all of the essential knowledge that they need before they move on to the next course. So they have really worked hard on just focusing in on what they need to. If it's assigned, you can pretty much be assured that it's important, either as practice or the assessment. So practice assignments get students ready for the assessments. If students aren't practicing, that's going to show up on the assessments, but more importantly, students won't be ready to move on. And so it's really important that students do that practice, that they show the evidence that they're practicing to their teachers before they're taking those assessments. If you're submitting something that's late, know that your teachers are working in real time. And so they're going to continue to work in real time with their students and with the current material. So it may take them a little bit to grade the late work and get that entered into Infinite Campus. So if it's entered in as missing initially and you do it and send it to them, it may be a day or 2 or 3 before your grades are updated and everything is up to date. One quick note here, parents. Some students, we've actually had them submit a blank document in Google Classroom just so that they can show their parent that they've submitted it, even though they didn't do the assignment. So students, if that's you, make sure that you're doing your best each and every day and putting forth that best effort, because again, if it's assigned, it's important. Okay, it's the essential knowledge, it's the essential learning that you need to have and understand in order to move on. So I want to talk just real quick about staying organized and time management, right? You either plan your time and manage your calendar, or your calendar will manage you. We want to be sure that our students are planning their time, they're planning their space, they're knowing when, how, and who to ask for help. You're setting reminders on your phone or in your calendar for your Google Meets, for the office hours, for the help sessions, so that you are showing up and are ready to do the work. Schedule activity breaks into your day because it can be very tedious to sit in front of your computer for several hours. However, I'm going to tell you, when you schedule an activity break, you need to, number 1, keep the activity break short, and number 2, set a timer so that you don't get distracted and you actually get back to your schoolwork. So if I'm going to set an activity break and maybe I'm a student who likes to draw, I'm going to set a timer for 5 minutes and I'm going to draw for 5 minutes. And when that 5 minutes is up, I'm going to get right back to work. Maybe I'm going to take a quick walk, but I'm going to set my timer for 5 minutes. And at the end of that 5 minutes, I'm right back and getting focused again. Okay. Also, know this: your teachers have provided a lot of the instruction through videos, and that's on purpose. If you were in class and a teacher was going over something, you could just raise your hand and say, "Could you repeat that for me?" Well, when you're in a virtual class in a Google Meet, that's a little bit more difficult to do. But when there's a video, whether that's a Screencastify or it's an EdPuzzle, or if it's using Loom or one of the other educational service providers that we use, you can always replay that video. So if you don't get something the first time, replay it. If you don't get it the second time, but you have a friend in the class, why don't you ask the classmate and say, "Hey, I didn't quite understand this, or I didn't get this. Can you explain it to me?" There's absolutely nothing wrong with doing that. Okay, so don't be afraid to watch something more than once or to reach out to a friend in one of your classes and say, hey, did you understand this? Can you explain it to me? Because that's the same exact thing that we do in school. It's just you're not in the building together. I'm going to show you just a couple of planners here outside of Google Calendars that some people might like to use. Sometimes it feels really, really good to make a list and then cross things off. That's me. I'm somebody who likes to actually make a physical list on paper, and then I cross those things off as I complete them. But make sure that you're looking at those agendas at the beginning of the week. I showed you where those were from the teacher websites, where it shows you what to do on each day. Make that list. Some people that I've talked to have taken a poster board and Post-it notes, and they actually like to remove the Post-it note as they complete the assignment. That's one option. You could also use this link here. It's just a kind of a generic student weekly planner where you can make a to-do list where you could cross things off. You can schedule things by day. But again, that's one example. That's not the only example. There are lots of different online planners and free apps. This link here where it says free apps is actually a list of 6 different apps that you could try to organize yourself and keep track of your assignments. iReady. Talking about staying organized, managing your time, students should have completed the diagnostic in both reading and math, and they'll do this again in the winter and the spring as a way of tracking their individual growth. We talked about how iReady tracks students' individual needs and actually provides support for those individual needs. So students should plan on completing at least one lesson in math and one lesson in ELA with the 70% or higher each week. The more time they spend in iReady with personalized learning paths, the more they're going to grow. We really think of this as an investment. Their teachers should be reaching out to them about doing data chats and talking to them about what their iReady score says, what their strengths are, and what their opportunities for growth are. And so be expecting that, and that should already be under progress. Also want to mention that there is the Panorama survey. We use that Panorama survey to help our students provide for a lot of their social emotional needs. So that is also another good thing to be paying attention to. Lastly, where can I go to find this information, or where can I go because I want to be able to look at this again, or I want to be able to watch this presentation again. This will be linked under the Ridgeview Parent Hub and the Lakeview Parent Information pages from the school websites. So if you are on the Ridgeview site and you go to the Parent Information Hub, they've got all of the different videos and things from the beginning of the year, including this presentation. If we go to the Lakeview Parent Information page, this presentation will be linked there underneath the Welcome to Lakeview videos. Okay, so that is where that information will be kept and housed for you so that you can access it in the future and use it as a reference. Mostly, we just want to end here with saying, again, we recognize that this is difficult, that this is different. It's not necessarily something that that many of our students have done before. And so we're here to partner with you to help you be successful. That is what we're here for. That is what we want to do. And so if you reach out to your teachers, if you reach out to the office, if you reach out to the admin team, to the counselors, if you're having difficulties, please let us know, and we will do everything we can to help. But know that we believe in you. We know that you can do it, and we are going to be here to support you. Thanks, everybody. Have a great night, and I look forward to continuing to work with you.